We're back with another How to Play on the channel, and there's been a bit of exciting breaking news since the last time we did a video. You may see that there's a little bit of tiredness going on under the eyes here because my wife and I have welcomed a new rocker into the world, little Theo, who has been keeping us up at night. So I thought it would be super appropriate to do a song where I need to look a little bit tired and on the edge of survival. So that's why we're doing Black Sabbath and Paranoid today. It's a song that's got a very annoying thing about it, which is that it's very slightly tuned sharp. So it's not in E like your normal guitar would usually be in. This one's actually in E and a tiny bit up to E sharp kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a track that's been tuned to regular E tuning so you can play along with it, and there'll be a little card above here which will link you to that. So if you're going to play along with the riffs and the guitar solo that we're learning, you'll want to play it to that track rather than the record one, which I suspect has been very, very slightly sped up. Anyway, we'll begin with the main riff, the classic. All guitarists should know this one, and then we'll get into the guitar solo after that. So let's go through the main riff first of all. Tony Iommi, of course, is the guitarist here. I've been watching videos of how he plays this riff, and he does some very interesting, awesome little cheeky things, which I'll show you. We'll start off though with the main riff up here on the 12th fret. Get your first finger and bar it across. You just need the bottom two strings here. So you're going to pick once and hammer on that 14th fret with your third finger. Now he does the next bit all down picks, except for this. That's an up pick there, which I quite like actually, because it brings you round again to doing your powerful downward strums. So you play the main intro riff around 4 times, then you're going to go to what I would describe as the verse. So a bit of palm muting going on here with your right hand, so make sure you keep these strings nice and covered, but just covered gently with your right hand. You're starting off with this shape that we've used. So the first and the third finger doing this power chord on your 12th fret. Then you're going to move that whole shape down. Now this is where Tony Iommi does some interesting stuff which I never would have imagined. I thought that he would have gone, but instead he leaves that first finger barred across from the move down and uses his little 4th finger here to create the next bar chord shape. So, and then he takes everything off and plays an up pick with the open strings. So that sounds like this. And then he returns to using a third finger for the main palm muted bit. Like that. Now the second time it's played round, because you can see I've written ×2 in the tab there, so this riff comes twice. The second time round, you don't play the open strings, so you just get... Then we're going to move on here to some more power chords, using the first and third fingers here. Stay on that 12th fret. So the verse continues with a double strum here. Then we're going back again to our what a lot of people describe as chunky power chords. Make sure you do the doubled pick here this time round, so you got the... It's just important to have that in, it gives it a little turnaround feel to it. Then we're going back to the chunky chords again, we've got the hang of this by now. Second time round, of course, like before, there's no open strings. So let's go straight into the guitar solo then. This is where you land on the 9th fret on your G string. Use that 3rd finger. And this is all just one pick. Now, Tony Iommi has very unusual fingerings here, which I'm going to show you. I've been watching how he plays this guitar solo, and it's not how I would do it at all, but it's interesting to learn other people's techniques and styles. So you start with that 3rd finger, and he uses that 4th finger, the little finger, for this hammer-on here. And then he continues using these 2 fingers. I'm going to run it through one more time with you. I've put some picking suggestions in there as well, so... Those are the pickings that Tony Iommi does in a video that I saw of him explaining how this solo runs. But it doesn't run through the rest of the song, and also it's slightly different to the record version. So this is what you hear on the record. You're using his fingerings. So we're on to the next line now. 1st finger, then 4. And this is interesting because then it's a 1-3, 7 to 9. Shift up that 1st finger to your 8th fret. So I'll run through that section again because it's very, very complicated using that 1st and 4th finger. The actual picking suggestion that I've seen Tony Iommi do is down, up, up. You can do either, or down. Kind of whatever suits you, really. That's the one to really get right. So it's all pull-offs. That's quite a fun bit to do there, quite quick. You can bar across with your 3rd finger. Page 2 of our tab continues, by the way. If you want to download it, just check out the links below. This is a nice little shape here. Used very, very often in guitar soloing, but it's just worth bearing in mind the shapes that we're playing with. Now this is the really interesting one. I struggled for ages to work out how he made that awesome, cool sound, but it's the 12th fret with the 1st finger. And you bend it up to the 15th, so... Now that's made easy for me because I use quite loose guitar strings. I use 9s, but you'll have to really give it some force there. The solo continues now. So bend up this 14th fret on your G with your 3rd finger. Slide down next. That's the end of the solo. You'll hear the underneath guitar doing the part that we've learnt before. If you want to fall back into it and you're going to keep playing the guitar solo straight into the landing back on the chunky bit, I'd recommend doing it like this. And we continue with our chunky section, which we learned in the first part of the video. It carries on. Don't forget that doubling again. There's a little variation here that comes up in the second part of the song. So we've played these big power chords before. Slight variation here, which is as I've just played it. So. We go back for another verse, which is exactly the same as before. We then have this doubling again later on in the tab if you just follow it along. And we come round to the final time that this epic chunky riff is played. So much fun, isn't it, to play this one? And the very last time you come down here for an A power chord. And that is it. You have completed Black Sabbath's Paranoid. Do follow along with the tab. I think it's really helpful to have almost like print it out like music and have it in front of you to read and play along from. Once you've got it from memory, you can start putting in your own variations if you like. The solo doesn't have to be exactly like that when you're playing it, but it's just worth knowing what the original was. I mean, Tony Iommi does completely different stuff. He goes... does it very differently these days. He throws in lots of little variations, but it's good to know the original material, which is what we're all about here. Thanks for tuning in to Black Sabbath's Paranoid. We'll do some more Black Sabbath. And do subscribe and like if you're a fan of the band from Birmingham and Ozzy's legendary singing vocals. Well, singing, shouting, screaming, it's all good stuff, really. I should have got a bat, actually, for this video, shouldn't I? So I could have ended by going... But anyway, we'll catch you next time with our next video, but do like and subscribe if you're enjoying what we're doing.